Long before modern medicine, ancient African gods ruled the skies, not just with light and darkness, but with healing power. These were no ordinary deities. They cured lands, calmed storms, and revived life itself. Meet the celestial legends who held the earth in balance. Have you ever wondered who the gods were that helped crops grow, healed the sick, or even controlled the weather? Who were these divine beings who had such power over life on earth? And how did their influence shape the cultures of ancient Africa? In many African cultures, the sun and the moon were seen as not only celestial bodies, but as divine forces with the ability to heal and restore. But how exactly did they wield such power? What made the sun's rays capable of both burning and healing? And how did the cool embrace of the moon help restore balance after chaos? These questions touch the very core of African mythology, where the lines between the celestial and the earthly blur. The gods who governed the skies were believed to have direct influence over life on earth, offering protection, health, and prosperity. The sun, revered for its scorching brilliance, was often associated with vitality and healing. It was seen as the giver of life, whose rays nourished the earth and brought forth new growth. But it was not just the physical power of the sun that was celebrated. It was believed to possess spiritual healing energy, capable of curing ailments, purifying souls, and even bringing peace to troubled lands. In contrast, the moon, with its cool, calm light, was considered the counterpart, a figure of wisdom, cyclical healing, and cosmic balance. We will explore these incredible deities, the African sun and moon gods, and how they were revered as healers, guardians, and creators of balance in the world. Their power, though rooted in ancient traditions, still resonates today, shaping the way African cultures connect with nature and the divine. Let's journey into the myths that have preserved the celestial healers and discover how they continue to influence the world around us today. The sun has always held a sacred and powerful place in African mythology, regarded not just as a celestial body, but as a divine force capable of shaping the very fabric of existence. In many African cultures, the sun was seen as a vital source of energy, life, and healing, central to the survival of both nature and humanity. From ancient Egypt to the Yoruba people of West Africa, sun gods were not just symbols of light. They were believed to possess the ability to heal, guide, and sustain life across the land. These deities governed life's essential elements, from the growth of crops to the health of communities. Their power was both creative and destructive, capable of bringing both blessings and wrath to the earth. One of the most prominent sun gods in African mythology is Ra, the supreme solar deity of ancient Egypt. Known as the sun god of creation, Ra was revered as the giver of life. The Egyptians believed that Ra sailed across the sky each day in his solar bark, bringing light and warmth to the world. His journey symbolized the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a constant reminder of the vitality he provided. As the creator of all things, Ra's power was limitless, and his influence extended beyond just the physical world. He was thought to be the protector of Egypt, ensuring the success of the crops, the health of the people, and the prosperity of the nation. Ra's healing power was deeply embedded in the natural world, as his rays could purify, energize, and restore balance. Across the continent, the Yoruba people of West Africa worship a powerful sun deity named Olorun. In the Yoruba tradition, Olorun is the supreme deity, the creator of the universe, and the giver of all life. Olorun is not just a god of the sun, but also the god of the sky, whose rays provide warmth and light to the earth. The Yoruba believe that the sun represents a divine force of vitality and spiritual awakening. Olorun's energy is thought to flow through the natural world, sustaining life and healing the sick. The sun's heat is seen as a source of growth and regeneration, essential for the fertility of the land and the flourishing of crops. In the Yoruba cosmology, Olorun is responsible for both the physical and spiritual well-being of the world, making him a central figure in the life of the people. In addition to Ra and Olorun, the sun has played a key role in other African cultures, each with their own unique interpretation of solar deities. For instance, among the Akan people of Ghana, there is a sun god named Nyame, who is the creator and ruler of the sky. Nyame is a god of light and life, whose warmth nurtures both people and plants. Similarly, the Dogon people of Mali revere a sun god called Ama, who is associated with the creation of the universe and the ordering of the cosmos. Ama's power is also linked to healing, as its light is thought to restore balance and harmony to the world. The sun's role in African mythology is deeply intertwined with life, vitality, and healing. It is not just a distant force in the sky, but a direct and personal influence on the lives of people. The sun gods are seen as protectors and nurturers, capable of bringing both bounty and misfortune. The sun's healing power is reflected in rituals, prayers, and ceremonies dedicated to these deities. People would offer sacrifices to the sun gods, asking for blessings of health, prosperity, and fertile land. In many traditions, the sun was seen as a deity who could cure illness, restore broken relationships, and bring peace after times of strife. Sun gods were often celebrated through festivals and religious observances. In Egypt, for example, the worship of Ra was a central aspect of Egyptian religious life, and great temples were built in his honor, like the Temple of Ra in Heliopolis. The Yoruba also have festivals dedicated to Olorun, where offerings are made and prayers are said to honor his healing powers. Across the continent, the sun was not just a physical presence in the sky, but a revered and powerful god who had the ability to heal, restore, and bring prosperity to those who acknowledged his power. In African mythology, the sun was not simply a source of light, but a divine healer whose rays were capable of curing both physical and spiritual ailments. The presence of sun gods in the myths of various African cultures highlights the belief in the sun's power to sustain, heal, and protect life. These deities were not mere figures of myth, but living embodiments of nature's life-giving forces, and their influence extended far beyond the sky, deeply impacting the daily lives of the people who worshipped them. In the vast expanse of African mythology, the moon holds a unique and sacred position, much like the sun, but with its own distinct role in the healing and cyclical balance of the earth. While the sun is revered for its life-giving light, the moon is seen as the counterpart, offering calm, nurturing energy that is essential for the growth of crops, the fertility of the land, and the restoration of balance in the natural world. The moon's connection to time, cycles, and transformation is central to its role in African spiritual practices. Unlike the sun, whose light is constant and powerful, the moon waxes and wanes, reflecting the rhythms of life and the eternal process of birth, death, and rebirth. In many African cultures, moon gods are seen as guardians of the night, patrons of fertility, and divine healers who govern the cycles of nature. One of the most revered moon gods in African mythology is Nana Buluku, an ancient and powerful deity from the West African Vodun tradition, particularly among the Fon people of Benin and Togo. Nana Buluku is considered the creator of the moon and the personification of the lunar cycle itself. Often depicted as a wise and nurturing mother, Nana Buluku governs the cycles of life, death, and renewal. Her role as a moon deity is deeply linked to fertility and agricultural prosperity. The changing phases of the moon are seen as symbolic of the cyclical nature of life, birth, growth, decay, and regeneration. Nana Buluku's influence extends beyond the land, She is believed to oversee the health and well-being of individuals, helping them heal both physically and spiritually. The waning and waxing of the moon are said to correspond with the human experience, guiding people through times of challenge, reflection, and rejuvenation. In addition to Nana Buluku, many African cultures feature other powerful moon gods with significant roles in fertility, growth, and healing. Among the Dogon people of Mali, the moon deity is called Nomo, a god associated with water and the cyclical nature of time. Nomo is a creator god who, through his lunar connection, helps bring life to the earth's waters, which are essential for agriculture and the healing of the land. In the Dogon cosmology, the moon is a symbol of regeneration, and Nomo's lunar power is invoked to ensure the fertility of the soil and the health of the people. As the moon's light nurtures the earth during the night, so does Nomo nurture life through its cycles. Another significant moon deity in African mythology is the god of the moon from the ancient Egyptian pantheon, known as Khonsu. Khonsu is a youthful god who is associated with the moon's healing and restorative powers. In Egyptian tradition, Khonsu was believed to have the ability to heal the sick and cure ailments during the night. The Egyptians saw the moon as a force of renewal, providing a calming influence that helped restore balance in the world. Khonsu's power was said to be particularly strong during the full moon, when his light reached its peak and illuminated the darkness. Like many moon gods, Khonsu's lunar energy was also seen as a guide for spiritual growth, helping people heal from emotional wounds and overcome obstacles. The moon's connection to growth and fertility is particularly evident in African agricultural traditions, where the lunar cycle dictates the rhythms of planting and harvesting. The moon's phases influence the timing of crop cultivation, with certain crops being planted when the moon is waxing and others during the waning phase. This cyclical relationship reflects the deep understanding that African cultures had of the interconnectedness of the cosmos and the earth. The moon's light was not only seen as a source of guidance for physical growth, but also for spiritual and emotional healing. In many African communities, rituals were held under the light of the moon, as it was believed to be a time of healing, renewal, and connection with the divine. The moon's role in African mythology goes beyond just growth and fertility. It is also a symbol of transformation and cyclical healing. The moon's waxing and waning represent the stages of life, from the beginning of existence to its eventual return to the earth. This cyclical process mirrors the human experience, where growth and healing often come in cycles, with periods of... In African mythology, the sun and moon are not just symbols of celestial bodies. They are revered as divine forces of healing, capable of restoring balance to both the land and the people. These deities hold a profound connection to nature, guiding agricultural cycles, ensuring the prosperity of crops, and providing protection and healing for the human body and spirit. The sun's healing power is often associated with vitality, strength, and restoration, while the moon's influence is linked to growth, fertility, and spiritual rejuvenation. Together, these deities form an inseparable duo, embodying the life-giving and life-sustaining forces that are central to the survival of the earth and its inhabitants. The sun, with its intense heat and energy, is considered a primary source of life. In African cultures, the sun is believed to be a powerful healer, capable of curing diseases, purifying the land, and even restoring the balance of the ecosystem. The ancient Egyptians, for instance, believed that Ra, the sun god, had the ability to heal the land through his powerful rays. The sun's warmth was seen as a restorative force, not only vitalizing crops, but also ensuring the health of the people. During times of drought or famine, it was common for people to pray to Ra for rain and the restoration of crops. Similarly, the Yoruba people invoked Olorun, their sun deity, to ensure that the land remained fertile and the people stayed healthy. The sun was believed to be a source of divine energy that could purify and heal, both physically and spiritually. The moon, on the other hand, is revered for its calming, cyclical power. The moon's connection to healing is often tied to the natural rhythms of life: birth, growth, decay, and renewal. It is believed that the moon influences the cycles of water and fertility, ensuring that crops grow and thrive. In many African cultures, the moon is seen as the guardian of fertility, not just for the land but for the people as well. Nanabuluku, the moon goddess of the Fon people, is believed to have the power to heal ailments, bring peace to troubled souls, and restore the balance between humans and nature. Her lunar influence was thought to extend over both the physical and emotional well-being of individuals. The changing phases of the moon were seen as a reflection of the cycles of life, offering a way to align with the rhythms of nature for healing and renewal. The healing powers of the sun and moon are deeply intertwined with rituals and ceremonies. These deities are honored through a variety of cultural practices that recognize their importance in sustaining the balance of nature. In many African societies, rituals are performed to call upon the healing powers of the sun and moon, especially during times of agricultural need, illness, or hardship. These rituals often involve offerings, prayers, and dances, which are believed to attract the attention of the deities and invoke their blessings. For example, in some West African cultures, the full moon is seen as a time of spiritual renewal, during which individuals seek healing through prayer, fasting, and meditation. The rituals are believed to strengthen the connection between the earth and the divine, ensuring that the blessings of the moon and sun continue to flow. The relationship between the divine and the natural world is seen as one of deep reciprocity. In agricultural societies, this connection is particularly evident. Many African communities align their planting and harvesting cycles with the phases of the moon and sun, recognizing that the deities govern the natural forces that influence crop growth. For instance, some communities plant crops during the waxing moon, believing that the increasing light will encourage growth, while they harvest during the full moon or waning moon, as it symbolizes the completion of a cycle. This alignment with the lunar and solar cycles reflects the belief that the deity's power directly influences the fertility of the land and the health of the people. By honoring the sun and moon, these communities maintain the balance of nature, ensuring the survival of their crops, animals, and themselves. Rituals and ceremonies that honor the sun and moon often involve communal participation. The community comes together to offer prayers, sacrifices, and songs to the deities, recognizing the deep connection between their spiritual well-being and the health of the earth. During the harvest season, for example, the Yoruba people hold ceremonies dedicated to Olorun, offering food, music, and prayers to express gratitude for the sun's life-giving energy. Similarly, in many parts of Africa, the full moon is celebrated with dances, chants, and rituals to honor the healing powers of the moon gods. These ceremonies not only acknowledge the divine but also serve to strengthen the bonds of the community, reminding everyone of the interconnectedness between people, nature, and the divine. In daily African life, the influence of sun and moon gods extends far beyond mere myth and legend. They are integral to the practical aspects of agriculture, health, and community life. These deities are considered not just as figures of ancient worship, but as active living forces that provide the spiritual foundation for the rhythms of life. From the sowing of crops to the healing of sickness, the sun and moon are believed to guide every step of existence, ensuring prosperity, health, and balance for the people. In many African communities, the cyclical nature of the sun and moon is reflected in the agricultural practices, medical traditions, and spiritual rituals that are observed on a daily basis. Agriculture is perhaps the most direct way in which the influence of sun and moon gods is felt. African societies deeply connected to the land understand that the cycles of the sun and the moon govern the growth of crops and the fertility of the soil. In many parts of Africa, agricultural practices are aligned with the phases of the moon. For example, the Yoruba people of West Africa often plant crops such as maize, yams, and beans when the moon is waxing, as this phase is believed to encourage growth and vitality. The increasing light of the moon is seen as a source of energy that nourishes the earth and promotes the flourishing of plants. Conversely, the waning phase of the moon is considered a time for harvesting, as it marks the completion of the natural cycle. The sun also plays a critical role in the agricultural calendar, providing the necessary warmth and light for plants to grow. Ra, the sun god of ancient Egypt, is often invoked during planting seasons to ensure the earth receives the proper amount of sunlight for crops to thrive. Beyond agriculture, the healing powers of the sun and moon are central to the health practices of many African cultures. The sun is associated with vitality and strength, and its warmth is believed to have therapeutic qualities. Traditional healers often perform rituals under the sun to draw on its healing energy, using its rays to purify the body and cure various ailments. In some African traditions, it is believed that exposure to sunlight can help heal skin conditions, improve circulation, and boost overall health. Similarly, the moon is considered a powerful force for emotional and spiritual healing. The full moon in particular is seen as a time for cleansing and renewal. People seek guidance from the moon through prayer, meditation, and rituals, believing that its calm, nurturing energy can help restore inner balance and relieve emotional burdens. In some communities, illnesses are treated according to the phases of the moon, with certain conditions being healed under the light of the waxing or full moon. Sun and moon deities are also deeply embedded in the social and spiritual fabric of African communities. They are seen as guardians of well-being, whose blessings are sought during times of hardship, celebration, and transition. In many African cultures, rituals and ceremonies are held to honor the sun and moon, asking for divine protection, guidance, and blessings for the community. For instance, during the annual harvest festivals, communities gather to offer prayers and sacrifices to the sun gods, thanking them for the abundance of crops and asking for continued prosperity in the coming year. The full moon is similarly celebrated with rituals and dances where people come together to honor the healing power of the moon and seek its guidance for the future. These ceremonies are not only spiritual practices but also serve to strengthen communal ties, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose among the people. In daily life, the influence of the sun and moon gods is often reflected in smaller, personal rituals. Many people begin their day with prayers to the sun, asking for protection and guidance as they go about their work. Similarly, at night, the moon is honored for its calming, healing influence, with individuals offering thanks for the restful sleep it provides. In some communities, it is common for people to perform rituals during the night under the light of the moon to seek spiritual cleansing, renewal, or protection. These rituals can range from simple acts of gratitude to more elaborate ceremonies involving music, dance, and offerings. The sun and moon are also key symbols of balance in the daily lives of African people. The sun represents the masculine active principle, energy, strength, and vitality, while the moon embodies the feminine passive principle, nurturing, growth, and introspection. Together, they create a harmonious duality that reflects the balance between light and dark, day and night, and life and death. This balance is essential to the well-being of the individual, the community, and the land. African spiritual practices emphasize the importance of maintaining this balance in every aspect of life, from the physical and emotional to the spiritual. The influence of sun and moon gods in daily African life is a testament to the deep connection between the people, their environment, and the divine forces that govern both. Whether through agricultural practices, health rituals, or communal ceremonies, the sun and moon are ever present, providing the guidance, energy, and healing necessary for survival and growth. These deities are not distant or abstract figures, but active participants in the daily lives of African people, whose power continues to shape the rhythms of life and maintain the balance between the earthly and the divine. In African mythology, the balance between the sun and moon is not just a celestial arrangement, but a profound spiritual concept that extends to every aspect of life. This duality is emblematic of the harmonious relationship between light and dark, masculine and feminine energies, and creation and destruction. The sun and moon as divine forces are seen as complementary counterparts, whose interplay maintains the equilibrium of the cosmos. This balance is not just a philosophical idea, but a practical and spiritual necessity that governs the well-being of individuals, communities, and the land. The sun, with its radiant light, is often associated with masculine energy, active, dynamic, and full of vitality. It is a force that gives life, drives growth, and fosters strength. In contrast, the moon is linked to feminine energy, gentle, nurturing, and cyclical. It governs the night, fertility, and intuition, guiding the natural rhythms of the earth and providing restorative energy. Together, these deities embody the essential balance between opposing yet complementary forces. This dynamic of light and dark, action and rest, is vital in maintaining the health of the universe. Without the sun's energy, life would wither, and without the moon's calming influence, balance would be disrupted. African mythology underscores the idea that the harmony between these forces is crucial not just for the natural world, but for spiritual and personal healing as well. The equilibrium of the sun and moon represents the interconnectedness of all things, the cycles of life, the cycles of the earth, and the cycles of the human spirit. In many African cultures, there is a deep belief that imbalance between these forces can lead to illness, drought, or unrest. When the sun and moon are in harmony, when the natural cycles are respected and honored, health and prosperity follow. Conversely, when this balance is disturbed, whether through natural disaster, disease, or social unrest, the effects are felt on both a personal and communal level. The importance of balance is reflected in African rituals and spiritual practices, which often seek to restore equilibrium in times of disharmony. These practices acknowledge that the sun and moon must work in tandem for the world to thrive. Whether through offerings to the deities, ceremonies to honor the cycles of nature, or prayers for peace and prosperity, these traditions reinforce the belief that healing and renewal. The sun and moon gods hold a sacred place in African mythology, not only as celestial figures, but as powerful healers who govern the balance of nature. The sun, with its radiant energy, and the moon, with its calming presence, both serve as divine forces that nurture and restore life, ensuring the prosperity of crops, the well-being of individuals, and the overall health of the earth. These deities embody essential principles of vitality, fertility, and spiritual healing, offering guidance and protection to the people who honor them. Across African cultures, these gods are revered for their ability to maintain the natural balance that sustains life. Whether through rituals that honor their power or the alignment of agricultural practices with their cycles, the sun and moon gods are seen as central to both the physical and spiritual well-beings of communities. Their influence is not confined to the past, but continues to resonate today, as modern African societies still look to these deities for guidance, healing, and harmony in times of need. In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, it is important to remember the spiritual wisdom that these ancient beliefs carry. The ongoing relevance of the sun and moon gods in contemporary African culture reflects the deep-rooted connection between people, nature, and the divine. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, exploring and preserving African spiritual heritage can offer valuable insights into maintaining balance, healing, and harmony in both our personal and collective lives. If you are intrigued by the power and wisdom of African mythology, I encourage you to explore further, learn more about these divine healers, and support efforts to preserve these rich spiritual traditions for future generations.